What's up, Pool Chasers? Thank you for joining us today in the Pool Chasers podcast. Happy New Year. It is officially 2019. We are going into trade show season for our industry, and we thought we would kick it off with the first one we will be attending. That's right, we will be attending the Southwest Pool and Spa Show in San Antonio, Texas, January 23rd through the 26th. We're very excited to be going to the show for the first time. We have heard a lot about it, and we can't wait to be there and spending time with you guys. So, we believe that trade shows are one of the best ways to jumpstart your new year for your business. It's a really exciting way to grow. So we hope you guys will take the opportunity to grow your business and better yourselves and join us this year at the 2019 Southwest Pool and Spa Show. Welcome to your go-to podcast for the pool and spa industry. My name is Tyler Rasmussen.
And my name is Greg Villafania. And this is the Pool Chasers Podcast.
Hey, what's up, Pool Chasers? Thank you for joining us today on the Pool Chasers podcast. Our mission is to help educate and inspire in the form of a podcast. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Michael Miller of Miller Pools in Pasadena, Texas. He's also the president of the Southwest Pool and Spa Show and the host of the Backyard Bay Radio Show. Thank you for joining us today, Michael.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, we're really excited about the show. We thought it would benefit our listeners to learn more about it before they attend. We've heard a lot of good things about the show and how it's growing, really focusing on education, and we love that. So this is something we really love, and we would really love to help promote for you.
That's so welcoming to hear, because we have been trying to grow this show and have been growing it for many years, and the focus is education for our industry, especially trying to attract younger people to our industry to take over for us old guys like yourselves.
Very true.
That's awesome. We can't wait to hear more about that. But yeah, let's get started. You want to introduce yourself to our listeners and what it is that you do exactly?
Well, my name is Michael Miller, and I have a retail store in Pasadena, Texas. We do major repairs. We do cleanings. We have about 750 pools a week that we clean. We remodel swimming pools. We do not build new swimming pools. And that's the main focus of my business. I have 35 employees. We have about 21 trucks now, I believe. It's hard to keep count.
Wow.
They keep failing, and then I got to buy another one. But it's a good business. I've been doing this for over 30 years now, and been able to raise a family on it. It's really a good business to be in, and that's why I like promoting this industry and to letting so many younger people know that there is a great industry out there that you can make a good living at if you just work hard.
Yeah, we couldn't agree with you more. I think this is an amazing industry, and there's so much room for growth in it as well, because there's, certain areas that we need a lot of improvement in, and we feel like, the newer generation has some good tactics into kind of attacking those things. So really looking forward to that. So thank you for sharing that with us. It sounds like you have a really good thing going on over there in Texas. You want to share with us a little bit about how you even got into the pool industry? Because it sounds like a very enticing and, kind of a cool business to get into now, but maybe back when you were starting off, it probably wasn't as appealing as it is now.
As glamorous as it is now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I out of college, I got a job working as a lifeguard for a community pool, and the guys that were helping maintain it taught me how to clean it and do the water chemistry, and then they started teaching me how to fix the pumps because they didn't want to do it themselves. And so I continued to do that through college every summer, and then even did it in the wintertime, keeping up these swimming pools for these communities. I had 5 different ones. After college, I wanted to pursue my career in music. I'm also a musician. And so I quit the pool business to follow my dreams. And about 5 years later, I decided that I liked money a little bit more than dreaming. So I decided that I'd try to figure out what I wanted to do. And one of my friends said, you're pretty good at that pool thing. Why don't you try that again? So I did. I just started out. This was back in the early 80s, 84, I believe. And I just started contacting some friends with swimming pools. And then I was introduced to to a gentleman here in Houston named Greg Butcher, who we became very good friends, and he kind of hired me on as his service technician, and I worked for him for about 7 years, learning as much as I possibly could from him, because back in those days, we didn't have these kind of shows to go to. We didn't have education. We didn't have the opportunities now like we have now. We just had to go out there and learn. There was no swimming pool guy university out there. It was just getting out there, and hopefully you could find someone who knew more about it than you did to teach you. And I just took advantage of his knowledge, and we're still very good friends today. And finally, in 1994, I broke away from him and opened up Miller Pools, and just continued to grow it and grow it and grow it until it's become what it is today.
That's an awesome story. And just listening to that, a little bit curious, what did the education look like back in the very beginning? Because it seems like there are a lot of pros that there wasn't, the internet, and there wasn't so many opinions and different things like that, whereas kind of just like one standard way of making repairs or cleaning a pool and different things like that. What did you think about, whatever kind of training you had back then?
Well, mainly what we had was the vendors' seminars that they offered us, like the Raypak heaters or Pentair, Jandy, whatever. There was a seminar, all-day seminar on how to repair a Polaris, and back in the 80s, that was the only thing that was cleaning pools out there, other than us doing it. So, I made a point to attend as many of those seminars as I possibly could. We did have some small trade shows, but there was no education involved in that. It was just some vendors. And I think they were even associated with some home shows as well. So it was kind of a mixed match of different vendors and different things that you could see that really just didn't give us too much information like we have today. I just found that I knew what I needed to be, and that would be the smartest person in the pool business. And I knew how to be that smartest person in the pool business. I just needed to have the right phone number to call. And
right,
that's what makes you the smartest person in the pool business.
Have the connections, yeah.
That's right, and that's why I chose to start volunteering when I became a member of the Independent Pool and Spa Service Association back in 1994. I joined that organization, and I began volunteering with them, and even served as the president of the local Houston chapter in '99. After that, I became involved with the Association of Pool and Spa Professionals, which back then it was called the NSPI, the National Swimming Pool Institute, National Swimming Pool and Spa Institute, which eventually now has been turned into the Association of Pool and Spa Professionals. And I have volunteered as president of the local Houston chapter for close to 10 years now. I'm no longer president of that. I finally got a break. But I found that volunteering was, it was an investment in your time, but the return was well worth it, because, I know so many people in the industry, and they know me, and I've got their phone numbers, and I can call and get referrals. I can call and ask questions. I'm never at a loss for an answer, because I can get someone on the phone to give me the correct answer. And so I think volunteering is very important in our industry, and giving back is something that so many of us do. And that's where the Southwest Pool and Spa Show came in. When we decided that this was something we all wanted to pursue, there was a lot of people involved in putting it together, and it has really turned into something that I believe to be very beneficial to our industry and to the people that are involved in it.
Right. And we couldn't agree more that, building those relationships and keeping those relationships and having that mindset of, what goes around comes around. That's, super important. And, this kind of leads into our next thing, that we are just really excited to know that you actually host the Backyard Bay radio show. And we listened to an episode. It's really cool. And, you do a really good job. Can you talk to us a little bit about the show and even where people can hear it?
You bet. First of all, it's called the Backyard Bay Radio Show, and we are on the air locally in the Houston and surrounding markets at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on Saturday mornings. And I've been doing the show now for over 17 years. It is a consumer-driven radio talk show with call-ins. It's kind of like a home improvement show for swimming pools. You can listen to it on the internet. You can go to ksevradio.com and download the app there. And I have people listening to it all over the world. It's kind of cool when I'll get an email from somebody in Florida or up in Ohio. It's just really interesting to know that,
wow.
that some people spend the time listening to that. And the whole purpose of doing the show was to give good education to the consumer, to let them know that because there's so much different information out there. And we all started this before the internet became so popular. So the Backyard Bay radio program has, I think, been a very successful show. It's certainly helped my business and my sponsors. And I have some sponsors that have been with me since the beginning of the program back in 2001. So it's really cool.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. How do you vet some of those calls? I mean, do you have any stories in particular, like maybe just one of the craziest stories you've ever gotten of someone just coming on and just asking some crazy questions?
Well, you caught me off guard a little bit on that. I have really good questions. I think I had a question one time was this consumer was having a problem with animals getting into their swimming pool, and mainly raccoons. And she didn't want the raccoons to die because, and a couple of them had died in there, of course, because of the chlorine and just being exposed and not being able to get out.
Right.
And so there was I don't know if this guy's still in business or not, but at one of the shows, I found this guy who had this, it was the Pet Helpers Ramp, something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a little ramp that you put on the coping. You tied it down somehow to the deck, and it allowed pets to crawl up and get out of the swimming pool. So I referred her to that, and I think she got it, and she was much happier that her little raccoons weren't dying.
That's cool. So you did find a solution for her.
Yeah, if I don't have an answer for someone right on the air, then generally I'll email them back, because we have they have access at our website, which is backyardbay.com, to ask me questions and email me directly, and then I can spend a little more time researching answers and get them something that may be a little more appealing and advantageous to their certain circumstance.
Well, that's really kind of you, not to just, oh, sorry, I think you're breaking up.
Bad connection here.
Yeah, we've got a bad connection. Let's get the next call.
And, one of the things is I have a lot of my friends in the industry know about the radio program and tune in, and I'm very fortunate of that, because sometimes I'll forget the name of something, or I just get at a loss for what I'm trying to say, and I'll reach out to my friends. Hey, if you know what I'm talking about, text me. And the next thing I know, I'll get 4 or 5 people texting me the answer. So
right,
it kind of works.
That's awesome, and I'm sure that helps you become aware of really popular questions that customers or whoever's calling in really has. And it's really important for you to kind of talk more about those topics, either on the show or through maybe a blog or whatever type of write-ups you do, and kind of giving out more information.
Yeah. We find that a lot of questions about pools losing water, a lot of questions about calcium buildup on tile. That seems to be a big one. A lot of questions about stone degeneration around salt, chlorine-generated swimming pools. Now, I have noticed in the past 10 years, with the introduction to so much easy access to the internet and information on the internet, which, as we all know, it's not all good information necessarily, but there is still a lot of good information out there and good education. To kind of inform the consumers, there's more available to them out there than maybe just what one person is telling them. The IntelliFlow variable speed pumps have become very popular, and lots of questions about that and how that all works. And of course, automation, robotic cleaners is another area that has really grown a lot in the last 10 years. I was never a big believer in them, but I certainly am now, have one in my own swimming pool. But the questions are well thought out, I believe, and a lot of do-it-yourselfers are calling into the radio show that want to try to fix things themselves, and I try to give them advice unless it comes to anything with electrical, and then I tell them at that point that you definitely do not want to be doing that. Let a professional handle anything electrical of your equipment.
Yeah, electric and water do not mix very well.
They do not.
Right. So it sounds like you have a ton going on. Why did you decide to take over as president of the San Antonio, Texas show this year?
Well, the Southwest Pool and Spa show started, I think our first show was in 2007. And there was a group of volunteer board members that had been working together at our own local chapter levels, that we all got together and decided that having a regional show, and we called it the Southwest Pool and Spa show, would be beneficial to the chapters, because the chapters were no longer funded in any way by the National Association of Pool and Spa Professionals. And if we wanted to be able to do anything for the community, for our industry, we had to come up with the ways of creating income. And so golf tournaments, things like that, we do that. But the Southwest Pool and Spa show, we thought, well, here's perhaps an opportunity to further the individual chapters and get a message out to all these people who are out there trying to learn how to clean pools and learn how to fix things. Hey, we've got some educational opportunities you can come and take. They won't cost you an arm and a leg. Now, if you want to get certified, we have that available for you too. So being involved in that board, and it's taking the baby steps, and it was tough at first. I'm telling you, the first few years of the show, attendance was very low. We didn't have that many vendors there, but we just kept pushing on. And finally, in 2014 is when I decided, I thought that maybe I could give something back, and so many before me had, and that's when I became president, and I'm still president today. So that was been 5 years, and really, we have gotten this board. Most of the members on this board are the original members. Some have come and gone, but we still have a lot of the original members because A, we get along very well, which is very important when you're dealing with a volunteer board. B, we all have the same goal, and that is to educate our industry and make sure that they are doing things the right way and being ethical and honest. And that's so critical because, as you guys probably well know, being up there in Arizona, that not every pool guy is as honest as they should be. And
yeah, we understand
that right.
Yeah. So, when you find others that are like you and like-minded, then you want to grow that. So, being the president is an easy job for me because I have there's so many other people on the board that are contributing so much that make this whole show go, because the whole show is driven through the volunteer board. Now, we do have a paid management company that takes care of all the official stuff, like getting the vendors lined up and doing all of that stuff. We can't do that, but it's the volunteer board that really is behind the whole show, and I am just very honored to be able to serve as the president of this board, because it's a great group of guys and girls.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Is it difficult to find people to volunteer to help out for the show, or is there quite a few people that kind of take it upon themselves to volunteer?
We generally can find a lot of volunteers to help out with the show. We have moderators in every free classroom that we have to fill up, and we have over 80 free seminars at this class, so we have to have a lot of different volunteers for that. The Independent Pool and Spa Service Association, IPSA, it helps us a lot with that. Each individual chapter, we have the North Texas chapter, San Antonio chapter, Houston chapter, and Austin chapter. And we all have volunteers from those APSP chapters that kind of corral everybody. And then we help the vendors load in and load out. And, it's a very collaborative event for everyone that's on the board and the volunteers alike.
That's cool. I know when we go to the Long Beach, the Western Pool and Spa show, they have, nothing but volunteers there. And once we found that out, we were actually really surprised because everybody was so, knowledgeable, helpful, knew what was going on. And I guess sometimes you think if people are volunteering or not getting anything from it, that they wouldn't, it's almost like community service or something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I'm here because, I jacked up a bunch of pools and, the owner sent me here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think that we have that attitude at all. And it's, I really feel that the people I have the opportunity to work with really care to give back to the industry that's giving so much to them. If you don't participate in what helps you put food on the table in a larger way than just going out there and, keeping your head in the ground and, being a little island, then you won't get very far. I think that, and I try to promote this to everyone I see, don't be afraid of volunteering. You'll never have time. So don't ever say, I just don't have the time, because you're never going to have the time. It's just like with children. No, I'm not ready for children yet. Well, guess what? You're going to have one.
Right. Yeah, we hear that. We hear that a lot, that people don't have time, but figure out that their priorities are a little bit different. And usually, Netflix and, all kinds of other things are at the top of that priority list.
Yeah. And I promise you, anybody who out there is listening right now who's considering doing any kind of volunteering, just do it. And you'll see that not only do you have the time, but it really makes you it just makes you feel good inside, but you get so much from it. But you also get what you put into it. So like you said, if you're just there going through the motions because somebody made you go through, then you're not going to be a good volunteer. And believe me, those people who are taking advantage of you volunteering won't keep you around long, because they'll realize that your heart's really not into it. But I promise you, if you give it a try, you will find that it is very rewarding. And any kind of volunteer you may do with your community or with our industry is really great.
Yeah, you couldn't be more right. I got kind of, I don't want to say dragged into, but I kind of did at the time. I went to Utah probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And as soon as I got there, somebody had taken us to an event, and they're like, hey, we're going to be volunteering and helping out these at the hospital. And it was for people with Down syndrome. And I just remember being there, and I wasn't sure what to expect. And I didn't want to leave.
Yep. Like
while we were in the middle of it, just helping people and seeing like how, funny they were and how cool they were, and just being a part of that. You become kind of selfless, and it feels really good giving back and knowing that you've made an impact on somebody else's life. It's kind of a priceless thing to feel.
I have the great opportunity to serve as the director of the West University Little League Challenger Division baseball. I've been doing that for over 10 years. My daughter and I started when the league began. She was a player and still is a player today. Challenger baseball, they have it all over the country, is baseball for children with physical and mental challenges. And so we get together for 6 different games during the spring, and we have children of ages from 5 to 22 that some are in wheelchairs, some are in walkers, some can run and hit and just do it all up. And it's incredibly rewarding, and I certainly get much more back than I ever can give to these kids, because you see that smile on their face, and that's all it takes, I'll tell you.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just awesome. So we've been talking a lot about education and the show a little bit. Just out of curiosity, what is your favorite, book, podcast, or anything like that? Is there anything in particular that you would share with our listeners?
Yeah, I like to spend a great deal of time with one book that has been with me for many years. It probably is the most important book that I have, and that, of course, is my checkbook.
Ooh.
Oh, that is awesome. Some people either love that book or hate it. That's a love-hate
it's a
situation.
love-hate relationship, brother. Right now, I'm hating it. But, December in the pool business is not a love relationship with your checkbooks.
Right.
Oh, that is funny.
Very good one. Very good recommendation.
Yep. Keep it close to you. Of course, nowadays it's all online, and
Yeah.
but I still have one I write in.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
awesome.
old school.
Well, can you you kind of talked a little bit about the show.
Yeah, I'm
when it
ready to
started.
get on the show. Let's talk about the show, because this is what's really, really great that we have this opportunity this year coming up in San Antonio. I'm sorry I cut you off. Did you have a specific question?
Oh no, yep. I'm just gonna jump. We like to hear just kind of a little bit of the history of the show. I mean, we talked a little bit about it, but when was it started? What was where was the initial table at or event at, and how's it grown kind of today?
Absolutely. Well, we started the show in Houston back in I'm guessing 2007. I should have probably done the research before we got on the podcast here, but like everyone else, I'm just too busy. But we started in Houston. We did the show in Houston 1 year. Then we went down to Galveston. I think we did the show in Houston 2 years. Then we went down to Galveston. We went down there to do the show because it was after Ike, and we knew a lot of people might want to see the island after what Ike had done to it. And so we did the show down there. Then we moved up to San Antonio. Well, actually, no, I'm going to take that back. We did the show in Dallas, in Fort Worth, I believe, maybe a couple of different times. And then we moved the show to San Antonio, and that was really, we found that to be a great venue for our show because of the Riverwalk, and that's where we're right there on the Riverwalk. Seemed to be a lot of things for people to do other than just to come to the show. But the show itself really is so focused on education and being able to be able to come if you're on your own, or if you have a company, you want to send your employees, then it's affordable, in my opinion. You can go to our website. This is a big thing. Let me just start it out right now. The website is southwestpoolandspashow.com. Just Google it, and you'll see. I'm looking at it right now, and it's all the information that you could possibly need is on our website, about all the different educational opportunities, what all classes we're going to be holding, the exhibitors. We have over 200 booths and exhibitors there. We have over 80 different free seminars. We have, I believe, 10 different certification seminars. And it's just a great opportunity to really further your education. It's not just on how to fix a pump, but it's also about business, how to run your business, about insurance. We have a seminar that APEC puts on. APEC is the Aquatic Pool Educational Council we have here in in Texas. And this is a lobbying group that helps us monitor any kind of new laws that are coming into effect that would affect the pool and spa industry. We have a couple of lawyers that help us out with that. Well, this particular group puts on a full one-day seminar on business education about how to run your business and how to be more successful with your business. And many different speakers speak at that seminar. That's just one little nugget of some of the things that we were able to do here at the Southwest Pool and Spa Show.
That's awesome. When the show first started, there was obviously probably not as many people, but how has it grown over the years? Have you seen tremendous growth in that area?
We definitely have. We are welcoming over 2,000 attendees now, which, it was just a few hundred when we started, and most of that was us volunteers. But I spoke to a gentleman that was coming to our show yearly because the education, and he was coming from Canada. I'm not kidding you. This guy was the greatest guy. I think he came for 4 years in a row and just said, because not only do we have the APSB certification classes, but about 4 years ago, I believe, we started partnering with Genesis, and the Genesis programs that they offer are unbelievable. And so many pool builders today have realized the benefits of getting education through the Genesis programs. And this year, we're offering through the Genesis paid programs, the Design 101, which is an introduction to perspective drawing. And that's on Tuesday. The show actually starts on Tuesday, the 22nd of January. We also have, there are other design classes, Design 201, Basic Pool Construction. This is another Genesis class. Design 236, Concept Plan Development. This is another great one from Genesis. And we also are offering the APSB Professional Pool and Spa Operator, PPSO, which is now accepted all across Texas, and I think other states as the CP, like we used to have CPO. I don't know. Do you guys have CPO up there you're in Arizona?
Yeah, we have CPO training. It's not required here in the state of Arizona, but it's definitely something that you should definitely take advantage of. So I'm just curious about the show. Are you guys are you asking for any type of feedback from attendees? Is there any kind of feedback you've gotten over the years that you've really just addressed and have tried to make the show better by getting that feedback?
Yes, I'm glad that you brought that up because just like at the national shows, we definitely ask for feedback on every seminar to see what people liked and what they didn't like. And some of the feedback that we've gotten that we're still trying to address this day is that we have so many different seminars that are put on at the same time that people want to go to the same seminar, but they can't because they're going to another one. So we're trying to work out maybe some repeat seminars so that people can attend those seminars. The one of the things that we decided, I know that this is something we were going to probably bring up, but I thought I'd go ahead and throw it in there now, is one of the things that we do that we figured out as a volunteer board several years ago is, hey, why don't we try to attract more people to the show by feeding them? Everybody likes a free meal.
You're damn right.
So at our show, on Friday, we have a catered lunch that's right there on the showroom floor, and we do the same thing on Saturday. So you don't even have to leave to go get food, or you don't have to go to the food court and pay, ridiculous amounts of money for a bottle of water or soft drink. You can just come to our show and we're going to feed you. But wow. That's just part of what we do.
That sounds amazing. What kind of food are we talking here? Are we talking sandwiches, hamburgers, pizza?
First day generally is Texas barbecue, buddy.
Ooh, sign me up.
I'm telling you.
That's worth it for sure.
Known for its barbecue. And we've done different things on the second day, from a basic sandwich buffet. We've done fajitas, of course. You can't go wrong with Tex-Mex down here in Texas. And, so yeah, I'm not sure what we're feeding everyone this year. They haven't divulged that information to me yet, but I can promise you it'll be good. And that's one of the things I got to say about the convention centers, that their catering really is good food. It's not like the rubber chicken that you can get some other places. It's really decent food.
Well, the word on the street is Texas takes food seriously. I hope that's true.
Yes, we do. And one
of
the ways
hungry.
You can tell that the food is good is once everybody gets their plate and they're all sitting around the tables, you don't hear a lot of talking.
Yep. Very true.
That means food's good, boys. Come on and get it.
Very good. So who are the sponsors for this year's show?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because we have some of our main sponsors for the welcome party and awards banquet, which I want to talk about that here right after that. But the main sponsors of that program, which is on Friday night, is Pentair, HASA, and Higginbotham Insurance. We also have Blue Square, Barrier Reef Pools, Top Fires, and Aquasalt. Now, I got to tell you about what else happens on the showroom floor during the days. On Friday and Saturday, we have a happy hour in the exhibit hall. Yeah, you go to, well, let's see, the Friday sponsor is WEK and Associates. You go over to their booth, and they got beer there, and they got pretzels, and you can go have a beer and eat a pretzel and talk with some of the vendors, and it's free. And we do that both on Friday is WK and Associates. Saturday sponsor is Stellar Sales, Blue Square, and Top Fires. So we get sponsorships to really help promote, not only just promote the show and pay for the show, because it does cost quite a bit to put a show on like this, but the sponsors help to promote our biggest event of the show, which we consider to be our welcome party and awards banquet. And we decided to combine the two several years ago to make it really an industry event. Because really what we were trying to do is give attendees more reason to attend our show. And there's several shows that they're put on, and from the national show to other regional shows. So what could make us a little different? We're putting on a huge welcome party, which every attendee gets one free drink and all the food they can eat. And it's generally just a wide array of food that's from Tex-Mex to Italian to just all kinds of food. And then, so we open at 5:30 on Friday afternoon. We open the doors. There's plenty of bars set up there. So that was the biggest complaint we had many years ago when you were talking about, have you had any input? Yes, we didn't have enough bars at the welcome party. People had to wait in line too long. As you know,
that's definitely going to be one most important for people.
Yeah, that's unacceptable by pool guys.
For sure.
So the welcome party opens at 5:30, and then at 6:30 and then we start. You can start eating at that time too. And then at 6:30 we start our Region 3 Awards banquet, and we have some of the most incredibly talented and incredible pool builders in the nation, is my opinion, right here in Texas. And it's not just from Texas too. We have builders from Louisiana, from Oklahoma, from Arkansas. I don't know if we got any from Arizona. You guys are probably too scared to compete with us Texans. Huh?
Ooh, I just heard a call out. Dang, we need to have a pool build off.
Yep. But we have usually well over 200 entries. I think this year we have we're giving out in 75 different categories. We have gold awards. We have silver and bronze awards. And then we have a Best of Show awards, which the winner of the Best of Show gets $1,000 cash. Hard, cold cash money. It's not a gift certificate. It's not a check. It's cash, $100 bills. They usually give me that money to give to the winner, and by the time they get it, it's usually around $800.
Is that when you call yourself, and Miller Pools a builder at that point?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me go ahead and tax that $1,000 real quick.
We do
just consultation. But that is really our huge event, and we're really proud of it. Usually we have over 400 people attending. It's just phenomenal. The opportunities there, of course, are the networking and getting to see friends that you'd only see once a year, of course, and just catching up with people. Last year, here's just a good example of how networking can pay off. So I have the opportunity of being the MC of those awards, and so I'm a little more visible, and I always wear my my boots with my tuxedo, so I'm looking quite unique. But a gentleman came up to me. He was from Dallas, and he had a job in Houston that he just couldn't get to because he's in Dallas, and asked if he could refer me. And I said, sure, because this was a huge remodel I got for a commercial property that was well over $135,000.
Oh,
well
wow.
Worth it.
Most
and I would have
definitely.
never got that had I not been at the Southwest Pool and Spa Show and had I met him. So
And we think that networking piece is so vital and important that, you join those networking events and have a couple drinks and just kind of mingle and talk to people that you wouldn't normally talk to, because you have no idea who you might be talking with. And we had a mixer back in October, and it was just phenomenal, the people we got to meet that we wouldn't normally be talking with. The only takeaway from that is we definitely suggest, if you haven't already thought of it, is have everybody wear name tags, because people introduce themselves. And if you're talking to, 10, 15 people, it's really difficult for me anyway to remember everybody's name, but, got a name tag with their name on it and, what they do exactly. And it just helps out a ton. But talking with those people, it really gets your batteries charged for, getting back out there and, maybe doing things a little bit different. Or, it's nice to just get their phone number, maybe might find a mentor or, just a new business working relationship with another company.
Absolutely. And, collecting cards, always bring cards. I am the very worst at that. But I'm telling everyone who's listening that whenever you go to any kind of networking event, not only bring your own cards, but ask those who you are talking with for their card. And just stick them in your pocket. And then when you get home the next day or whatever, just get those cards out and enter those people in your, I was going to say Rolodex, but that would really show how old I am.
I was just about to say, just bring that with you. File it while you're there. Oh, here's Pool Chasers. Here's P. Let's go to the P section and put it in. There we go.
Oh my goodness.
Time management right there.
Yeah. But that's name tags. I totally agree with you. We, at the local Houston chapter of the Association of Pool and Spa Professionals, I insist that everybody wears a name tag because, I can't. I try as hard as I try to remember people's names. It's so embarrassing, especially when you know someone very well, and then you're just caught off guard and you just go dead blank in your head. And the name stand is right there, makes you look like you've known them all your life.
Yeah, everybody's done that for sure.
Absolutely.
So here, I'll just take my shirt off. You can have this. All my information's on it.
The one thing I want to really to press with everyone is that to go to the website. That is going to be your best information of everything that we're offering at the Southwest Pool and Spa Show. And the actual address is swpsshow.com. But if you just Google Southwest Pool and Spa Show, it's a trade show here in Texas, it'll come right up. And it's got great hotel offerings. Like I said, the rooms right now, they're going fast. So you need to, because the show's not that far away, just a little over a month away. And our block of rooms is it's going pretty quickly. We do have good attendance, and that was one of the big things in the early days of our show. We were just worried that we could get enough people to come to fill the block that we had. We were required to fill from the hotels, and fortunately, we made that every year. And now we're searching for other hotels by the time that the show's coming upon us. So it's really good.
Yeah, so visiting the website is definitely going to be key to getting all the information you need. Maybe you could just share with us real quick, just so it's quick and easy, what what days exactly the show is going to be, what the show floor hours will be, and just how people can register for the show.
Thank you. Yes. So the education classes actually start on Tuesday the 22nd with a paid class from Genesis. And then Wednesday, we have more certification classes. Thursday, I didn't give you the dates. Tuesday, the 22nd of January, Wednesday, the 23rd of January. Thursday, the 24th of January is when the free seminars start. And also more of the certification classes. We have an electrical licensing requirement here in the state of Texas for anyone that's going to work changing out pool motors or anything working on a heater, that you have to have this license. So we have a prep course for that we offer. Then Friday, the 25th, that's when the actual show begins. We have the free educational classes as well. The showroom opens at 12 on Friday and then runs until 5 p.m. And then on Saturday, the show opens from 11 and we go all the way to 4. And that just reminds me, we were talking earlier about my radio talk show. I actually do the radio show live from the showroom floor on Saturday. And so I have a lot of my sponsors are on the show. We talk about the different things with the pools, and it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Very cool. And you could just register online, I'm assuming?
Definitely. Go to the website, southwestpoolandspashow.com. There's a big old orange button right there at the top left, right. It says register here. And you can get registered. Then you can go get hotel rooms as well. And, you don't have to come for all 5 days if you don't want to. Just, come Friday and Saturday. But you definitely want to come for Friday and Saturday so you can get the free lunches, you can get the free welcome party, and get an opportunity to see all these vendors. One of the things that I find that I feel is so much more intimate with a regional show like ours, is I just feel that the whole atmosphere is more warming and welcoming. It's just an easier opportunity to talk to these vendors, to ask them questions. It doesn't seem so rushed. They don't seem as rushed as like at some of the bigger shows. And you really can have an opportunity to get some special pricing, make some special deals, and just learn about products that you may not have even been aware of that is available for you to make your job easier.
Right. And for anybody that doesn't know, what's the difference in being a regional show? What does that mean exactly?
So like the International Pool and Spa Expo is exactly that. It's international. So it's a huge show, thousands of booths, thousands of attendees, where the regional show is it's more focused to the area and around the area. And we welcome anyone from the country or out of the country for that matter. But it's the vendors, a lot of the vendors that are there, like WEK and Associates and Stellar Sales. These are guys that work these areas. We know these guys. So when we're walking the floor, you're seeing your local guys that are your reps that call on you. So that's one thing that makes it more intimate, I believe. When you go to the national show, you really don't always know who you're speaking to. Sometimes you do, but I think that makes it more intimate, and it's just a smaller, more intimate show. I'm using that word a lot, but it really is, and it's that way in a good way.
Okay, so I was just thinking about something, and what would you suggest somebody that's new to the industry, or maybe they've been in it for a while and they just want to become more professional, and they're not really sure what classes to take in terms of business or chemistry, or you were talking about some electrical classes and things like that. Is there a point of contact or somebody that they can email to get more answers? Because maybe they just want to give you a bio on their business and they're trying to figure out what classes they should take, because it can be a little bit, haunting to, go and look at all those classes and you're like, oh man, all 20 of these look like things I should be in. But how do you really consolidate that list and know where you should go first?
Well, one of the nice things about our website is when you go to the education, it gives you a little description of exactly what each class is going to be about. Now, I certainly welcome anyone that would like to email me any kind of questions. My direct email address is Michael, Michael, at millerpools.com. And I'll be glad to, help steer them or answer any questions they might have as to what classes might work good for them. But here again, if you go and you click on the education in the website, then you start scrolling down to the free classes, then you're going to find that it's got a description, who's going to teach it, usually the picture of that person. Like I'm looking at patterns, people, and pools. And there's one that says, keep your business out of hot water. Lessons learned from 3,000 claims. This is Ray Arusti. He's with IPSA. 15 things all successful companies have in common. So there's the $1 Million Pool Man, things like that. They're all offered. First, you want to spend time looking at the website, and The name of the class will catch you at first. Then read about what it's going to be about. Then if you have any questions, shoot me an email, michael@millerpools.com. I'll be glad to help out.
Well, we really appreciate that, Michael. And that will help, I think, a lot of people that might be struggling with where to start with the whole entire show.
Well, I think that attending our show, that you'll find immediately that everyone is, as you probably well know, that, yeah, we're competitors, but we're all in the same industry, and there's plenty of pools to go around. You know, nobody needs to be just so quiet about their business and feel like that somebody's going to steal something from them. No one's going to steal anything from you. You're not going to give them. And so, you know, that should be, everyone should know that no one can steal something from you unless you give it to them. And that means customers or information or whatever. And there's really no information that you have that you need to keep to yourself. I certainly don't. I've learned everything that I know from someone else. It's not like I'm some genius. This is just being a part of the industry. And you'll find that the more you talk to people, the more you're going to learn. And the more they're going to learn who you are. And you'll just become a better businessman. You'll become a better pool person, whether you're just a pool cleaner or you're a repair person or you're a remodeler or a pool builder. I mean, I keep talking about the service end of it because that's where I am from. I'm not a pool builder. I have built pools, but I chose not to do that. I don't think that's my forte. So, but remodeling, now that's a lot of fun. I love remodeling, and you can learn a lot about remodeling, and you should, because remodeling is, I don't know if you guys do that, but that's a whole nother ballgame, and you really have to be careful and know what you're doing.
For sure.
But all these kind of things you can learn, and marketing. Well, you guys learned so much from marketing. You could probably teach classes on how to do social marketing because you built your business considerably in 5 years. Very impressive what you two guys did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So we appreciate all that information. You know, you talked about hotels. That's available on the website too. Are there shuttles from different hotels to the?
No, there
No?
doesn't need to be. It's all
Okay.
within walking distance. It's, just right there. It's
Cool.
And always, last year, I was just getting ready to say the weather's always been great. Last year we moved the show to Houston, and what happens? We get the hardest freeze and snow we've had in 15 years
Oh yeah,
on the first day of the show.
I remember seeing that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. But it got pretty again. And by the end of the show, it was back up in the 60s. And life was normal for us here in Texas.
We've talked a lot about the website, obviously. One thing I want to say about the website, I was telling Greg, I'm really impressed with whoever built the website for your show, because not all shows, have the greatest looking websites or they don't function the best. But I think your guys' website is one of the best, regionals or nationals. I think it's really well laid out and very aesthetically pleasing compared to some other ones. Not that the other ones are bad, just, I just saw that, it kind of stood out to me about your guys' show. That to me, it shows that you guys take it seriously, and it's really easy to navigate and very well done. So,
well, one of the things that we elected to do as a board was to reinvest in our show every year. We're not greedy. We know that we need to put back into it so that more people can be aware of it. And having a website that is easy to maneuver through, it was critical because, guys like me, I don't spend a lot of time on the internet, and I want to have something I can see that's easy and get it there. So that's why we invested in the website and continually do. Our management company, which is Empire Management, really has done a fine job at steering us in the right directions for making good informed decisions about websites, about where we're going to do the show, about the size of the convention center, all those kind of things. And it's really good to have that kind of leadership to guide us along the way.
Definitely. Well, it's very impressive. So we applaud you guys for taking the time to put into that. So, there's a couple other questions we had, but we've kind of addressed most of it. There's an exhibitor list, obviously, on the website they can find, right? And all the classes that are offered are on there. Is there anything else you want to highlight on the show before we wrap it up today?
Just plan to attend. if you're in the surrounding area, please do. You guys, I believe, are going to be there, and that'll be great. I can meet y'all face to face. Just keep in mind that we're going to feed you. First of all, we're going to feed you lunch, and we're going to have a great party on Friday night. And Saturday, we're going to feed you again. You're going to have some educational opportunities that you will not have anywhere else in the country. I can promise you that. And the networking is really a great opportunity. Now, you have to put into that. That's the one thing. You can't just stand around and wait for somebody to come up to you. You need to go up to people. And I'm all over the place. And I have a nice big name badge that tells everybody who I am. Everyone on the board, they don't all do it, but they're supposed to wear their name badges, letting you know they're a volunteer and they're in the volunteer board. If you have any questions, you can ask them. And they're all very accessible. And nobody is not going to talk to you. We're here to help. We're here to help you with your business, to help you become a better pool person, because the reality of it is educating those in our industry only will make our industry better and make it better for the consumers, and then in turn for us to make more money, to put more food on our tables, and to make our lives better. And that's really the only reason we're all working.
Agreed. Amen to that.
For sure.
Remember, southwestpoolandspa.show.com. That's going to give you all the answers. If you have any personal questions anytime about anything, you can email me at michael@millerpools.com. And you could also tune into the radio show on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. in Central Standard Time, ksevradio.com.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, thank you for spending some time with us here today, Michael. We appreciate your time and the knowledge, and our listeners will definitely benefit from hearing this if they're going to the show. And if you're not going to the show, we encourage you guys to go to the show if you're in Texas or anywhere around there. If you have the time, we always encourage education here on Pool Chasers Podcast, and this is one of the best places to do that. And, all the trade shows are great for that. And like you said, if you got to go there with a plan, you got to know what you're looking for, get ready, take the extra steps, because you don't want to just go there and waste any of your time, or it's feels like a waste of time if you don't get something out of it, for you or your business. So go there with a plan, go there to network and learn, and everybody can benefit from that, as far as being more knowledgeable. So thank you again for joining us.
Hey, thank you guys so much. And just remember, introduce yourselves to everyone you meet. Tell them your name, tell them who your company is, and tell them what you're doing and what all you want to learn and how can I learn from you. That's going to make, because I'll tell you one thing, guys, when you see an older pool guy, they'll be glad to talk about themselves and about their business and about how great they are. So don't be afraid to ask.
And don't forget your business cards, right?
And don't forget your business cards. Absolutely.
Sounds good. Thank you, Michael.
Yep,
thank you so much. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys at the Southwest Pool and Spa Show in January.
Yes, sir.
Take
care.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We truly appreciate your time and your ear. It means the world to us that you guys take time out of your day to hang out with us in the Pool Chasers community. So we appreciate all of you. And if you have any questions, please email us at poolchasers.info@gmail.com. Please check out our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages. And check out the Facebook group as well if you have not already. It's been an insane value in there. I've seen so many cool conversations. Greg and I are so proud of you guys for all you're doing in there. So thank you for all the positivity. Also, if you guys are listening to the podcast, if you could take a picture or a screenshot of it and share it on your social platforms, that way we can grow this community. That would be great. Tag us in it so we can say thank you as well. And if you got any pictures of you wearing the Pool Chasers mixer hats or any of the other swag, it would be awesome to see you guys in it. So take a picture, tag us, and we'll try to reshare it. Also, it would mean the world to us if you guys could go to Apple iTunes, leave a review and rating for the podcast. It really helps us there. So thank you again for your time, and we hope you enjoyed the episode.
See you out there, Pool Chasers.